in Muchuma there at Broadcasting House. Indeed, we are in Kisumu County, and I'm actually standing along the Kenyatta Street that takes snakes all the way through to Dunga Beach. That is, if you've ever been to Kisumu County. And where I'm standing here, I'm just adjacent to the Central Bank of Kenya and, of course, the Prosperity Building, the building that actually houses the governor of Kisumu County, Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o. And then when you move 100 meters from where we are standing, is actually we begin the precincts of Kisumu State Lodge. The main goal for demonstrators today that actually gathered at Kondele and, of course, snaked through the major streets of Kisumu County was to get or gain access to the State Lodge. They have indeed come from all the way from Kondele, small pocket of demonstrators all the way to the gate of the State Lodge. And of course, they had a conversation with GSC officers that are actually manning that gate for about 15 minutes or so. And of course, most of them are stating that they were actually coming out peacefully to carry out the demonstration, and they are not going to destroy property, but they will ensure that indeed they carry out demonstrations as peaceful as they can. The security officers at the main gate indeed were very accommodative, and they listened to them for about 15 minutes before they actually told them now to move back. What then happened is that after they've had that conversation, they actually did bring this roadblock here, and indeed ensuring that now whoever was actually coming towards this direction would not go beyond this point. For a few minutes, they actually gathered here just to ensure that no one was actually going beyond this point. But as time has gone by, what has happened, Irene, is that they've actually also just pushed back and taken vantage position back to the State Lodge. But just to paint a picture of exactly what happened today, Irene, was that the demonstrators actually met at around 8 a.m. in the morning, as was expected at Kondele roundabout. And of course, after a few minutes of deliberation, they started snaking through the Kenyatta Avenue or the Kisumu-Kakamega Road, and of course passing through Kibuye and eventually joining the Kenyatta Avenue, and of course coming all the way to this point. What actually stood out was the fact that today's demonstrations were not as organized as what we witnessed on Tuesday, and they were not also as intense as what was actually witnessed on Tuesday. Nonetheless, a handful of them did manage to walk through this street up all the way to the State Lodge, and they have actually maintained peace even as they have actually gone about the demonstration. What we've also seen is that police have actually tried as much as they can to actually restrain themselves in terms of engaging the demonstrators. There were a number of activities where some pockets of demonstrators tried to engage the police, but the police kept over and ensured that indeed those that are actually demonstrating did so in a very peaceful manner. As we speak right now, most of them have actually retreated back to various residential estates, and of course that is usually what happens in Kisumu, is that they will come out in numbers in the morning, and then thereafter, of course, demonstrate. But when it gets to about 1 o'clock, what will happen is that most of them will retreat back to their residential estates to continue with their normal activities. But also, I just want to put it to you, Irene, is that a number of businesses today, if not all, have actually closed. They remain closed. This is a fact. This is due to the fact that the demonstrations on Tuesday were much more intense, and of course the businessmen were actually worried of what will become of today's demonstrations. If you can see along this Kenyatta Street, usually it is filled with vehicles and a number of activities, but as I speak to you right now, you can actually see the road. It's all clear all the way to Kondele, and if you are keen, you can actually see that this road is very clear all the way to Kondele. That means that the number of activities that actually goes on this route are not happening today, and that essentially means that normal operation in Kisumu County have actually been crippled. But the good thing is that there been no violence, there been no running battles as intense as it is usually experienced in Kisumu County. But of course, the Gen Zs have actually come out with a handful of civil society group members, but politicians, I have said before, have actually kept over just to ensure that this is not political, but is actually a political demonstration, as was expected. Irene, that is basically what is happening here in Kisumu County. Of course, we'll be keeping a keen eye on what will be happening subsequently, and no doubt, of course, we'll be giving our viewers and listeners the exact thing that actually happened in Kisumu County during this demonstration.